Early medieval Europe has, over and over, been misunderstood. It has fallen victim, above all, to two grand narratives, both highly influential in the history and history writing of the last 2 centuries, and both of which have led to a false image of this period, the narrative of nationalism and the narrative of modernity. Before we consider a different sort of approach, we need to look at both of these, briefly but critically, to see what is wrong with each. For most listeners of this book who have not already studied the period will have one or both in the front of their minds as a guiding image. The early Middle Ages stands at the origin, whether authentic or fictional, of so many European nation-states that it has taken on mythic significance for historians of all the generations since nationalism became a powerful political image in the early 19th century, and often earlier still. People write books called The Birth of France, or, more generally, The Growth of Europe, looking as they do so for the germs of a future national or European identity which can be claimed to exist by 1000 in France, Germany, England, Denmark, Poland, Russia, and a host of other nations if one looks hard enough. Early medieval history thus becomes part of a teleology, the reading of history in terms of its possibly inevitable consequences towards whatever is supposed to mark why we are best, we English or French or Western Europeans, or at least, for less self-satisfied communities, why we are different. The whole of early medieval English history can thus be seen in terms of the origins of the nation-state, the whole of early medieval Low Countries history in terms of the origins of the commercial dynamism of the future Belgium or Netherlands. The lack of evidence for our period helps make these nationalist readings common even today. They are false readings all the same. Even when they are empirically accurate, the English did indeed have a unitary state in 1000, production and exchange were indeed unusually active in what would become Belgium, they mislead us in our understanding of the past. This is bad history. History does not have teleologies of this kind. Europe was not born in the early Middle Ages. No common identity in 1000 linked Spain to Russia, Ireland to the Byzantine Empire, in what is now the Balkans, Greece and Turkey, except the very weak sense of community that linked Christian polities together. There was no common European culture, and certainly not any Europe-wide economy. There was no sign whatsoever that Europe would, in a still rather distant future, develop economically and militarily so as to be able to dominate the world. Anyone in 1000 looking for future industrialization would have put bets on the economy of Egypt, not of the Rhineland and Low Countries, and that of Lancashire would have seemed like a joke.